They always say family is supposed to be the foundation, the one thing that keeps you grounded, that safe haven. But in ours, it felt more like a chaotic game of chance, with everyone scrambling for control, someone always being sacrificed, and someone else flipping the board in a fit of drama. That someone was Dan. But the real unraveling began last summer, during one of those sweltering heat waves, the kind where you start to wonder if the world itself might catch fire from the heat. I was sitting at the kitchen table, staring down at the kettle as if its slow boil was personally insulting me, when the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Max, my oldest brother, standing there, looking like a storm cloud had rolled in with him. He was clutching an old battered folder, as though it contained a national secret. His voice was flat, his eyes twitching with the familiar signs that he was on the verge of losing it. "Hey, Pat," he said, his voice like gravel. I asked what was going on, and he hit me with it like a punch to the gut. "I'm getting divorced." I almost knocked over my coffee. I wasn't sure whether to feel relieved or crushed. Before I could gather my thoughts, he dropped the next bombshell. He was giving the apartment to his daughter and moving back in with Mom. Considering what our mother's place was like, that felt more like lighting a fuse and running for cover. In that moment, the weight of it all settled on me. I had almost forgotten about our third player in this twisted game. Dan, the youngest, the golden child. He had this effortless charm, always landing on his feet, every girlfriend looking like she stepped out of a catalog before mysteriously disappearing from his life. But Dan had a habit. He never stayed away from the women we'd let go. First it was Anna, Max's ex, and then like a bad rerun it was Alice, my ex. I didn't pick up on it at first, not until I saw them through a cafe window, laughing together, too close for comfort. Alice looked like she was glowing, in a way I hadn't seen in years. That night, when Dan came by to grab something ridiculous, like a spare charger, I finally confronted him. "What the hell are you doing?" I asked, my voice low and controlled. He blinked with all the fake innocence he could muster. "Just being there for her," he said, as if he were some kind of hero. "She's been through a lot." As if this was some act of empathy. When Max found out, he absolutely lost it. A meeting was called at Mom's, and the yelling started before anyone even sat down. "Have you lost your damn mind?" Max barked, his face red with anger. "First Anna, now Alice? What the hell is wrong with you?" Dan just hunched his shoulders like a guilty teenager, but there was something about his face. It was half sorry, half smug. He mumbled some excuse about how it wasn't planned, how Alice had reached out to him, and he was just trying to help. Max snapped back, his voice full of venom. "Help? Dan, that's not help. That's you sleeping your way through our lives and pretending it's out of sympathy." He looked at me, waiting for me to back him up. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. The damage had already been done. Dan had never just been there for anyone. He played the long game, swooping in with perfect timing, making himself look like the good guy, the one who listened, the one who understood. But all along, he was just waiting for an opening, an opportunity to strike. The final blow came from Alice herself. One night she called, her voice shaky. "I've been seeing Dan," she said, her words like a knife to the chest. "Not seriously, just sometimes. He's kind." That word, kind, felt like an insult, like the last betrayal. My brother, my own flesh and blood. And that's the kind of comfort he could offer her? I didn't yell. I didn't even cry. I just listened, numb, feeling like everything I had built was slowly crumbling away. The next day Max and I, barely speaking to each other, showed up at Dan's place. Rage thick in the air. Even Mom tried to calm things down, but it was too late. Max looked at Dan, his voice low but full of fury. "You betrayed him," he said, his words cutting through the tension like a blade. Dan scoffed, dismissing him. "No, you all betrayed me," he said, his tone icy. "I've always been the one you underestimated, treated like I was just tagging along. I didn't ruin anything. I just showed up when no one else did. And that was it. The final fracture. There was shouting, a broken vase, a ripped shirt, and a silence that lasted longer than anything we had ever known. People like to say time heals all wounds. I don't buy it. Time doesn't heal. Time teaches you how to walk around with the hurt, how to bury it deep inside, and pretend it's not there. Max and I don't talk anymore. Dan's just background noise now. I ignore Alice. And we only speak about the kids. Same with Max and Anna. In the end, the little brother we thought we had to protect, the one we assumed needed us, ended up taking more from us than we ever saw coming.